a series to provide you all the best book summaries of all the times. I welcome you to your own book channel, Books Insights. I hope that you would have subscribed to the channel. If not, then kindly subscribe the channel and hit the bell button so you don't miss any notification. Still, this is the book summary, but I prefer you to go and read the full book for better understanding. The link to buy the book is in the description. You can also apply the code in the description to get 50% discount on subscription on Kukufm, which is the best platform to listen audiobooks. Everyone in the world talk about their success stories, but only one person named Ankur Wariku has written a book with the title Do Epic Shit, where he has written about the life lesson from all his failures. The beauty of the book lies in the introduction of the book, where author starts the intro with the line that this book may very well turn out to be the most useless book you will ever read. Oh my God, so honest he is. Because nothing in this book is something you don't know of. This is the reality of every book that everyone knows everything that is written in any book, but difference is the implementation. The whole book, Do Epic Shit, has been divided into 6 chapters. Beauty of the book lies in its writing that you can read any chapter at any time. You will neither feel bored and you will find something interesting and motivating at any point, at any pace that you read. So, let's start the chapter number 1, which is success and failure. Ankur Wariku explained many things in the chapter, like nothing beats the feeling of having done more in 24 hours than what the day expected you to. Another learning is that time goes away and leaves us with two things only: regret or result. Also, the chapter with so many understanding, like success is a relationship you have with your own self. Oh wow, what a depiction of success it is. Another shot from the chapter is the results of no efforts is nothing. The inner world derives the external one. Another one is to know what you don't know is power. To ask and learn what you don't know is a superpower. Also, Ankur Wariku explains the mistake he made in his own 20s and 30s. Every successful or unsuccessful person makes mistakes, but the difference is in the attitude. That successful person learns from his mistake. That is what Ankur Wariku did and is a successful person now. He is so bold that he mentioned his failure resume also in the book. Author is so courageous that he explained at the end that I am lucky to be successful. He is not claiming his hard work to be successful. He concluded that he cannot justify or claim his success. This comes to the end of the chapter 1. Now let's dive into the chapter 2, which means habits. Even I personally believe that habits makes us or breaks us. But Ankur Wariku moves one step ahead, that habits builds us goals, lay us barren. These are the habits only that keeps us going. Ankur Wariku mentions, do not try to minimize your struggle, but try to make it more meaningful, because when we choose the meaning of our struggle, we use it instead of it using us. Ankur Wariku explains that daily progress is necessary because the things that easy to do is the one that is easy to ignore. Ankur Wariku explains beautifully that we should change our habits to improve ourselves. Ankur Warikoo explains that sleep is very important. This is the very important aspect that many authors are ignoring. So, consume it daily. Ankur Warikoo also explains the importance of every step. Then he takes to you his own habits, that how he is able to improve his productivity, that helped him to scale his business also. Ankur Warikoo concluded the chapter that intent matters the most in our lives. So this brings us to the end of the chapter number 2. Now let's dive into the chapter number 3, which means awareness. In this chapter, Ankur Warikoo explains the importance of awareness, where he explains that picking one teaches, picking two confuses. He also explained that fear has led to more procrastination than laziness. He explained that any people must calm people have most fire because they use their courage to do bold things. He also mentioned the best mental model in this chapter. Here, Ankur Warikoo mentioned the risk is better than regret. Ankur Warikoo also mentioned that how to work in an organization and what defines your value system. This brings us to the end of the chapter number 3 and to the chapter number 4, that means entrepreneurship. Here again Ankir Warikoo explains that what people lacks in entrepreneurship is intent. He explains that entrepreneurship is 90% understanding, 10% execution, and 100% patience. He also explains his own hiring experience that attitude compensates for skills, but skills never compensate for attitude. He also explains as how to handle pressure and people management also. Ankur Warikoo emphasized on the importance of words by stating that words are wise. However, stories strike. Ankur Warikoo also pressurized not to quit job to start a business because irrational optimism is a founder's death trap. So keep your head high and never ever let your team feel down. The best quote on this chapter is your idea is not your startup. Your attitude is your startup. In the end of the chapter, Ankur Warikoo explains that in any business, trust is the main thing. So when people are trusted, you can get maximum out of your team. So always trust your people. That brings to the end of the chapter number 4 and starting of the chapter number 5 with the title Money. Here, Ankur Warikoo start with his own mistakes that he made with money, how he got into debt, and all his failures. Ankur Warikoo also explains that to understand taxes, inflation, etc. is also important. Author also mentions the 10 common money mistakes to avoid and 10 lies he was told about the money. In the end of the chapter, author concluded that he did a lot of mistakes to understand many things. He prayed that all of us understand those things much before. This brings us to the chapter number 5 and brings us closer to the end of the book with the chapter number 6, relationships. In this chapter, Ankur Warikoo explains the importance of relationships, that we humans thrive on the relationships. But he explains the most important relationship we could ever have, and that is with ourselves only. But basic problem is this, that we are so much designed that we can't marry ourselves, nor we can hire ourselves. So we need society. He mentions one beautiful thought, that there is a big difference between saying thank you and being thankful. He further explains about respect, empathy, and sympathy. Author emphasized that respect does not come with position, but with action, because every position is a position later, but a human first. He further mentions that risk and failure are a state of mind. There should never be any fear nor regret. The author has mentioned a lot of letters that he used to write for his kids. In the end, Ankur Variku thanks his family and friends to accept him even after so much of his failures. So, this was the book summary of the famous YouTuber Ankur Variku's book, Do Epic Shit. That brought us to the end of the series of 5 best books in my bucket. If you want to listen to any particular book, do comment below. Till then, stay safe, stay motivated.